All right, let's talk about a code that can really leave you scratching your head if you're a Ford owner, the U0422. We're going to break down what it is, what it really means, and how you can actually start to figure out what's going on. Let's just dive right in. So, picture this. You're driving along and suddenly your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree. The check engine light's on, maybe a few others are joining the party. You plug in your scan tool and it just spits out this cryptic message, U0422. You know, it feels like your car is trying to send you a secret message and you're just left trying to decode it.
So, what is your car trying to tell you? That's the big question we're going to answer today. See, this code is a very specific message from your vehicle's super complex network of computers. And by the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly what that message is. So let's start by decoding what U0422 actually means.
All right, first things first, let's get a really clear definition of what we're up against. What exactly is this U0422 code? Okay, so the official textbook definition is invalid data received from body control module. But what does that mean in, plain English? Well, think of your car as having a team of little computer managers. There's one manager in charge of all the body electronics. We're talking power windows, locks, lights, that kind of stuff. And it's sending out memos, but the other managers can't understand them. They're seeing the data as junk, it's unreliable, so they raise a red flag. And in your car's world, that red flag is the U0422 code. Now, this is a really, really important point. While we're focusing on Fords here, you gotta know that this code can be manufacturer-specific, so it's always a good idea to double-check the definition for your particular year and model. Not all of these codes are totally universal. To really wrap our heads around this code, we need to know the key players involved. So let's take a quick look inside your car's computer network and see how it all works. And the star of our show today is the Body Control Module, or BCM for short. This little computer is the brain behind all the creature comforts. I mean, think about it. Your power windows, the alarm system, all your interior and exterior lights, the radio, the BCM is the central command for all of it. And this is where people can get a little confused. You've probably heard of the engine control module, the ECM, right? That's the big boss for the engine. It's handling things like fuel injectors and ignition timing. Well, the BCM is its partner. It handles pretty much everything else. They're two totally separate, specialized computers doing different jobs. So, how do all these different computers talk to each other? Well, they use something called the CAN bus. And honestly, the best way to think about the CAN bus is like an Ethernet network for your car. It's this web of wires that connects the BCM, the ECM, the transmission computer, all of them, letting them share information constantly. When you get a U0422 code, it's a huge clue that there's a communication breakdown somewhere on this vital network. So, what does this communication problem actually look like from the driver's seat? Let's go over some of the common symptoms you might be seeing.
Well, you're almost definitely going to see the check engine light, but don't be surprised if ABS or traction control lights pop up too. In some of the more serious cases, your car might not even crank or start at all. You could also notice the very things the BCM controls are just acting weird. Windows that won't go down, locks going haywire, or a radio that seems to have a mind of its own. It can even cause a really annoying battery drain because the modules aren't shutting down properly.
Okay, now for the good stuff. How do you actually start to figure this out? The absolute key here is to start with the simplest, most common causes first. You always want to rule out the easy stuff before you start tearing things apart. And this quote right here really explains why we start where we do. It says, unstable voltage is a frequent cause of module communication errors. These computers in your car are sensitive. They need a steady, clean supply of power to work right. Any little dip or surge can make them spit out bad data and trigger codes just like U0422. So your first 3 steps are all about the basics. First, check that battery. Is it healthy? Is it fully charged? Are the terminals clean and clamped down tight? A loose connection is a classic culprit. Next, just use your eyes. Do a visual inspection of the wiring harness that goes into the BCM. See any scraped wires, any green, crusty corrosion, anything that looks damaged? And finally, check the fuses. Your owner's manual will show you which fuses protect the BCM. A simple blown fuse could literally be the whole problem. But what if you've checked all the easy stuff and the code is still there? Well, that's when we have to start digging a little bit deeper into some of the more complicated causes. So beyond the basics, you could be looking at a much more serious wiring problem somewhere in that CAN bus network. Maybe a wire that's broken inside its insulation or one that's shorting to ground. These can be a real nightmare to find without special tools. It could even be a software glitch. Sometimes modules just need a firmware update from the dealer.
And less common, but it happens, you could have physical damage to the BCM from water getting in. And of course, the module itself might have just failed and needs to be replaced.
This is a really helpful way to frame it. On the left, you've got the stuff most people can pretty comfortably check in their driveway: the battery, a visual wiring check, and the fuses. But on the right, those are the jobs you probably want to leave to a pro. Properly testing the CAN bus network, doing software updates, and especially replacing and programming a new BCM, that all requires equipment and knowledge that most of us just don't have. Knowing where that line is can save you a ton of time and frustration. Okay, so let's pull all of this together into a clear, straightforward action plan. This is how you go from the mystery of the code to mastering the problem. Here it is, your 4-step roadmap. Number 1, confirm your symptoms. Do they line up with what we've talked about? Step 2, perform those easy checks: battery, wiring, fuses. Do the simple stuff first. Step 3, if you find and fix something, clear the code with your scanner and then go for a drive. See if it comes back. And step 4, if that code pops right back up and the easy fixes didn't do the trick, it's time to call in a professional for that deeper diagnosis. So at the end of the day, remember, this code isn't just a random annoyance. It's a message. It's your car trying to tell you exactly where to look. The only question is, are you ready to listen?